Alright, so I've got some pictures here which I'm going to talk about. Now the first one, this is a head with a little bit of pain in it. See, this area is probably hurting this person. And I wanted to talk on energy healing. I think I've done a little bit before, but I may as well rephrase it. I believe that just about anything can pretty much be healed by using your energy, your focus and energy. Possibly you're not going to regrow an arm or a leg, so I'm not trying to push it that far, but who knows, maybe in the future when we have very high levels of energy cultivation and you can shoot laser beams and such, that maybe you can, but for now I'm not going to promise that. Most things you can actually heal and improve. For example, I remember when I was a teenager and I had to take all those vaccines. I remember that the meridian, which is kind of like the muscular line, if you think like the pectoral kind of connects to the bicep, connects to whatever muscles in the arm, you got like a meridian lines, which muscles and tendons connecting. They run through the body. The one in my arm where the shot got in actually kind of paralyzed, like half paralyzed my that meridian line in my arm, and I always had trouble there, and I got into a lot of athletic accidents on like skateboards and other things because I just couldn't move my body in the way that I needed to anymore. Or bicycles, and I would fall in that area as well, and it would get worse and worse to the point where it was basically like that area of my body was just paralyzed, and I had to walk, and I had to walk a bit wonky. But eventually, after I would say about 3 years now of this energy work helping it, I do it only every so often. It's not like an everyday thing. It would improve a lot if I did. Just a day every couple weeks, basically. I've got it to a point where it's much better, and it's always improving. So this is like a nervous problem. It's like a bone problem, a muscular problem, and everything's improving. So I do believe in this, and I've got my own results. How to do it? It's very simple. All you need to do is you first need to energize yourself. You need to gather energy. So the navel, the belly region is the energy storing center. So you sit in meditation and you gather energy there. You can also, I recommend, you eat something, you can drink a juice or sugar water, and that gives you a lot of energy, or fruit. Or even use like a chi tonic, and you gather energy there, and then you want to circulate it out through the body, so through the whole torso, through the arms. You can do this standing or sitting. If you do it standing, I recommend doing it outside. Outside has a lot of energy. You circulate it through the body to energize, and then you find the bad areas of the body. Like for example, this has got the head here. You find where the body is hurting, and you have to infuse it. So you draw the energy in. Keep using your focus. You kind of pressurize or push it in. You continuously just flow, like a river of energy that's just flowing in and flowing in. You can do this sitting, you can do it laying, you can do it standing. I recommend you do this like half an hour every day on whatever areas hurt, whatever areas you have problems, disabilities, etc. You've got some kind of spinal problem, some kind of muscular problem. Just keep doing this every day, and maybe you take some breaks every few days, and you will get better. You'll find after the first day you will just feel better, and after that first week you'll really start to feel like improvements, and after a month, etc. And I'm not going to say like, oh, this isn't a medical claim or this bullshit. The way I see it is that if a doctor wants to challenge this idea, wants to challenge me, then they're welcome to, because I honestly think that my energy techniques are better than whatever a doctor can give you, because this actually heals you, and I will stick to that claim. Anyway, next thing is on positive and negative parts of the body. As we probably know, the top half of the body is positive, the bottom half is negative. Now, I've been experimenting with, for like one of my jobs, for making tonics, and I've noticed that the positive tonic seems to increase blood flow and energy flow in the top half of the body because it is a yang tonic. And that means it kind of brightens the head, it has more pressure in the heart and chest region and arms, etc. Well, the yin tonic, it starts to help the bladder and the genitals and more the guts. This is the navel region, by the way, where it splits off in the legs. And one interesting thing is that I always thought, a yang tonic, you'd assume that more yang energy will improve you sexually. Will make you as a man kind of get harder, and you'll be more aroused and want to have more sex and all that stuff. Turns out it's not true. Yes, you do. It does help you with something like premature ejaculation or lasting longer, and getting harder and all that. But the interesting thing is that yang energy actually doesn't make you aroused. It doesn't make you want to have sex or anything. It's the opposite. And I've noticed this with, I've heard of people who take testosterone. Apparently, they do have a sex drive, it spikes, and their dick does get better and all that. But eventually, if you have tons of testosterone and no estrogen, that your sex drive completely, you don't even want to have sex. You don't care about it. It's, you're gone. And once you start reintroducing estrogen, then the person actually wants to have sex again. So I thought that was interesting, that essentially things related to sex, because they say sex and war are the two corresponding things. If you want to fight, if you want to, you're a warrior or whatever, you don't have time to think about love and intimacy and all that kind of stuff. And they always relate, sex and intimacy and all that and love to women, and now I can't understand why that is, because it's actually the feminine force which stimulates and develops and it does a lot of stuff with the genitals. Not saying testosterone isn't used for that, of course. I'm not a person who knows everything about hormones and science. I do know it grows your dick apparently, through puberty and all that. But I'm saying that the feminine force, experientially, I've found that it's actually, if you want to help a low libido in a person, or a sense of to cure actually anxiety as well, I find the yang energy, it has brings a lot of anxiety, it brings a lot of that tension, a lot of that, because you need that for for doing, for going out. It's like men take a lot of stimulants in a lot of countries to work. Coca leaf, tobacco, coffee, etc., etc., and that makes you very yang. Similarly with cigarettes, you just don't really get hard if you smoke cigarettes. Similarly, if you drink a lot of caffeine, if you have a lot of stimulants, your dick doesn't really work well. And if you get off all that stuff, then it actually does. For women listening, you can just you can extrapolate out or use analogy for your own agenda. But it's an interesting thing is that yin energy, yin herbs, etc., are actually better for like genitals and sexuality and all that than yang. Kind of makes me think like an interesting thing, because a lot of women are very anxious. A lot of them are quite they're trying to be too yang, they're taking too many stimulants, they're trying to work and do this shit, and it makes them really kind of moody and twitchy. And women are meant to be I think the gender roles are split, unless I have some weird opposite understanding of gender, which maybe I do. I always thought, because yin energy is earth and water, it's meant to be stable, it's a house, it's the foundation. And people today are saying like men are meant to be the foundation, men are the island, women are the boat, or men are the land, women are the car that travels. And it's like, no, energetically it's meant to be the opposite. So I'm not really understanding, like, has the gender role shifted? Am I seeing things wrong? I'm really not sure, but it seems in today's society that men have to be the stability. They have to be the grounding factor. Technically, they have to be both, because it's kind of like, you bring a woman. If you're a man, you bring a woman into your garden, so to speak. You have to own the money. You have to own the house. You have to set everything up. That's kind of what you do as a man. And then a woman comes into your life after that. It's not like you come into her life. You don't go into her house. You don't use her stuff. She uses your stuff. It's like that opposite thing. But I don't know, man. Maybe I'm just I'm willing to admit maybe I'm saying things wrong. But I also think that gender roles have kind of been fucked up, and that women are too yang in today's world. So think about that, I guess, in your own time. Now, the last thing is on levels. Energy cultivation is split into different levels. Excuse me. For the first main level, and they all have sub levels as well. The way that I see it, the first main level is level 0, physical cultivation, physical development, where you develop your body. That's the first level. Level 1 would be developing your energy body. So, developing energy, all that. Maybe level 2 would be developing the navel center, or maybe level 1 would be developing the navel center, then level 2 would be developing the energy body. I'm not perfectly sure, but I wanted to talk about the sub-levels. When you start circulating energy and training your body and infusing energy into your body, you will notice this is a head. This is a bird's eye view of a head. You see the shoulders there, the head is here. They're facing forward. You can split the body up from the head. This kind of wraps around to the anus, and you can see how there's these two. There's kind of like the front face. You can look at it, the front face here. Maybe I should have drawn it like that, or you can look at it. You got two there. It's whatever. You got the front, the left, the right, and the back, and then you got the areas, the X areas. I forget, it's called perpendicular or something. You got these as well. Okay. So you will feel, and this is kind of a basic showing of the same body, but it's a front on view. So you see how in the middle you've got these two faces here, or you can either think of these lines as meridians, like energy channels, or you can think of these faces as faces. It's whatever you want. So you see how here it's got the side, like this area here. It's kind of like this area here is like there. These areas is like here, and more this area here, and this area there is like that and that. So you can actually feel it in your body. You feel it in your body. The different faces of where your energy is flowing. So this would be 8 different sub-levels. So you've got to mark off, like, do I feel this area? Do I feel energy on this front face is flowing? Yes. Tick the X that. Do a circle. Do I feel it's flowing here? Maybe you don't. So you go X, no. Do I feel it here? Say yes. Do I feel it here? Say no. Here, yes. And then we'll go yes for the rest of them. So you would be level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out of 8. And your 2 problem areas will be here and here. Usually, actually, how it realistically looks is that if you have problem areas, they'll be connected, and the rest of them will be, for example, if this whole area is a problem area, the rest of them will be good. Or another example is if this is a problem area, these 2 here, the rest will be good. You wouldn't have, like, generally you wouldn't have an opposite problem area just because of the way that your blood flow and energy flow works. Yeah, anyway, if you can feel this, it feels like bad magnetism in your body. And yeah, basically you can just learn where the bad and the good areas are, and you can learn what sub-level you are of your thing. So the idea is to get control of your whole body, so that your whole body is circulating energy. Anyway, that's all. If you want to email me, I've got my email down below. If you want to comment, feel free. And I've got on my Gumroad, if you check that out, I have books and other things up for sale. If you're more interested in energy cultivation, I've got an energy cultivation book where I go into some more of this stuff. I also have divination services on Fiverr. So yeah, that's all. Anyway, have a nice day.